Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Today we are headed down into Alabama to go look at a car trailer. And I have my 24-foot enclosed car trailer, which was a really big purchase for me back a few years ago, but I really need an open car trailer. So I've been looking for a 24-foot trailer for a while. When I moved to Tennessee, I fit the 700 in the 2F Polo that I had in my enclosed trailer. And I pulled some tape, and the 700 and the 1000 SP will fit on the 22-foot flat section of a 24-foot trailer. And those open trailers are usually, if it's 24 feet, it's 22-foot flat and then a 2-foot dovetail. So this place in Alabama has one. I really wanted a steel deck. This one's a wood deck. I've been looking for one that didn't have a real steep dovetail. Obviously, if I've got any static cars, I don't want something with a real aggressive dovetail on it. And I'm ultimately going to want a winch on it. This one doesn't have a winch, nor does it have a winch plate. But we'll take a look at it when we get down there. Trailers nowadays are super expensive. I feel like what they're asking for this steel framed open trailer is close to what I paid for my enclosed trailer. So that's been kind of tough, but this one's available. It's within a 2-hour drive. We're more than likely going to come home with it, but we're going to go take a look nonetheless. Cue Leonard Skinner. So things changed. We went the scenic route to Jacksonville, Alabama. Didn't go I-59, decided to go all the back roads. And as you guys already know, we found that vintage Corvette spot and get a chance to see what people have in their front and backyards for cars. And we're about 30 minutes out from Jacksonville, and we go by a trailer lot, and at first glance it looks like they've got a steel deck 24-foot car trailer, just from first glance. Now that's what I wanted originally. I wanted a steel deck 24-foot. The dovetails on the 24-footers are real mellow, and as we drove by I kind of mentioned it, that it looked like a 24-footer. And Kayla said, well, we should probably just pull a U-turn and go back and see what they got. So we did, and sure enough, he's got two steel deck 24-foot trailers with 2 5/16 inch balls, which I like more than the 2-inch balls on a trailer that size, with a winch plate. And this other trailer was a wood deck, aggressive dovetail, 2-inch ball, and had a headboard on it that I would have to tear down and basically make a new one to have a winch plate put on. So we no longer have to drive an extra 30 minutes to Jacksonville. We're hooked on, got a brand new steel deck 24-foot trailer, and I am so stoked. So now we're heading into a town called Center. Center, Alabama to get some food. And it is already 100 degrees out, and thank God the OBS has working air conditioning. Now, one of the downsides to buying the trailer I originally thought about buying was it had a real tall headboard that didn't have a winch plate. And as you guys know, a lot of the cars that I buy, including the 1000 SP and my 635 CSI, I buy a lot of cars that don't run, and a winch is incredibly vital for the stuff that I do. And to make the deal even better, this trailer was only $300 more than I was originally already gonna spend on a trailer that I was technically settling on. And so I am just so excited about this trailer. This has been something I've been putting off for far too long, just didn't want to spend the money. If you guys are into trailers or you've been looking around, you know that trailers have skyrocketed in price lately. I basically bought my 24-foot enclosed Vinos car trailer for about the same price that I paid for this trailer. So that was kind of a tough pill to swallow, but the more expeditions and recovery missions I've gone on, I've had to keep borrowing Mason's trailer. And if you borrow something more than 3 times, by rule of thumb, you need one. So that's what I did. So we're heading home now and finish up the drive back to Chattanooga. It's hot. It's so hot.
It's hot.
All right, guys, we are home. It's the next morning. So before it gets too hot this morning, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load the Corvair up and take it for a spin and just see how it travels with one of my cars on it. This won't fit the Corvair and the 700, but as I mentioned yesterday, it will fit the 700 and the 1000. But since the 1000 doesn't run and I don't have a winch on it yet, there's no point in really trying to get both of those cars on here quite yet. That'll come soon. I'm really itching to do that. I really want to do that as soon as possible to see both cars on here. As you can see, a 24-foot trailer is more than enough space for a car like the Corvair, which is 15 feet long. So, I mean, you can fit any car for the most part of almost any length on a trailer like this. And those of you who don't know, the Corvair is rear engine. So I do pull it on, but I pull it on far enough ahead of the axles so I have significant and adequate tongue weight. But the motor, which is aluminum, doesn't hang too far out off the rear axles. So I don't get too much tail swing. It's not tail heavy. I've trailered this car for years. Driving it straight on, and it tows beautifully down the road on steel and aluminum trailers pulled on. So yeah, that's about a good weight distribution on the trailer. And the trailer is steel, so there's adequate tongue weight already being steel, not aluminum. All right, well, what you guys didn't see just then was me trying to fix a shredded dust cap here on the forward passenger side axle. The cotter pin on the castle nut that holds the outer wheel bearings in was pushing against that dust cap, and as everything turned, it shredded that cap, and now that bearing is right full of shredded rubber, and the cap was stuck behind the cotter pin. And as I was trying to pull it out, I didn't have any gloves on. And it's one of those moments where you forget about what exactly could happen with what you're doing. and I had my finger in there and I was pulling on the dust cap and I went to pull it around the cotter pin, but at the same time I pushed against the razor thin wall of the dust cap and just sliced the end of my index finger wide open. Pretty deep too. So it's kind of a bummer to the day because that's your index finger and you basically use it for everything. So yeah, let's go for a drive. Well, it seems to pull great. I'm still not too stoked on the one axle brake. Doesn't seem to be able to grab as well as I'd like it to. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. I can add brakes to the front axle at some point. I'm still happy with it. These southern trailers aren't built like the northern trailers. They're just kind of thrown together and it is what it is. So yeah, I just went for a quick rip to go fuel up the truck and heading back to the house now. Just a couple mile drive and see how it feels. It feels tight. It doesn't rattle real crazy down the road or anything like that. But I did drive it home empty yesterday, and that's when you'd really know if it was a rattly trailer, when you're driving with it empty. But feels good. Catch up with you guys back at the house. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Super excited to finally have an open car trailer, a part of the fleet with the enclosed trailer. To make things way easier to take cars to shows, especially on fair weather days, or to even go pick up cars, especially if my enclosed trailer becomes enclosed covered storage for a car or a project, if the auto union has to go in there to get out of the sun or out of the shop for a while. As you can see, I'm already starting to lose shade here in front of the shop, and it's supposed to be really, really hot today, triple digits. So I'm gonna get the Corvair unloaded and get unhooked and get all that sorted out and get back inside and work in the laser shop for the day, since it's an indoor day today in the South. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.